Maria's bones creaked awake before dawn, craving mischief. 52 years of polite Vancouver living, and suddenly her soul itched to shake up Maple Lane. Yesterday's spat over hydrangeas spilling onto Mr. Kowalski's prized lawn had been final straw. Not with him, with her. Always smoothing things over, never solving. She grabbed grandmother's cherrywood walking stick, its handle worn smooth by generations of stubborn women. Community center flyers fluttered under her arm, neighborhood walk club, sweat out drama, not gossip. Maria's bones creaked awake before dawn, craving mischief. 52 years of living had taught her two things: maple syrup fixed most problems, but neighborly grudges. Those needed sols on pavement. Her walking stick, carved by a long-gone love, tapped a rhythm against frost-kissed sidewalks. It remembered trails she'd hiked before knees betrayed her, before silence settled between houses like unshoveled snow. Now, a new sound haunted her: absence of laughter between fences. She'd tried flyers, then cookies, burnt. But Vancouver's drizzle soaked good intentions. So Maria laced up sneakers, gripped her stick, and taped a neon sign to her door: Walk Club. Bring gripes or gratitude. First morning, only Mrs. Lim from Community Center showed up, clutching a thermos. Maria's stomach lurched. What if this flopped harder than her attempt Zumba? But by week's end, 6 neighbors stomped alongside, airing petty squabbles between clumsy steps. A landscaper admitted he hated Mr. Chen's bamboo, a teen grumbled about early morning trash trucks. Maria's stick punctuated their gripes, its steady thunk a metronome for compromise. Deep down, she feared being that rusty hinge, useless, screeching, left to weather alone. But as walks wove through autumn, vibes shifted. Someone brought cinnamon buns. Someone else apologized for unreturned hedge clippers. And when Maria's bad hip sent her stumbling into a pile of leaves, 3 hands caught her before gravity could. By winter solstice, stick leaned by her door, its grooves worn smooth by miles and mended fences. Maria's mischief had bloomed into something sweeter, a neighborhood too busy walking to wage war. Maria's walking stick tapped a rhythm against Vancouver's rain-slick pavement, its chipped paint whispering stories of past journeys. 52, she'd expected life to quiet down, but her bones had other plans, itching for movement, for connection. That's how she found herself outside Sunrise Community Center an ungodly hour, squinting a neon flyer: Walk and Talk Tuesdays, bring your grievances, leave with solutions. Inside, fluorescent lights buzzed over a motley crew: retired teachers, young moms with strollers, even a guy in flip-flops despite November's chill. Woman hovered near a tray of suspiciously healthy muffins until a woman with silver braids and biceps that defied gravity clapped her on back. Newbies start slow, she said, thrusting a laminated map into Maria's hands. We walk problems out till they're too tired to fight. First outing, she nearly ate pavement avoiding a pothole. Grace wasn't her strong suit, but group's laughter was warm, not mocking. By week 3, her stick became more than support, it marked cadence for brainstorming sessions. Mrs. Kowalski's fence dispute. Sorted by mile 2, with a compromise involving hydrangeas. Teens skateboarding after curfew. A shared ramp building project, brokered mid-stride. Word spread. Soon, their ragtag parade swelled to 20, then 40. Maria learned to read vibes like weather, when to push pace for simmering tensions, when to pause by cherry blossoms so grudges could wilt. Even Flip-Flop Guy traded his soles for proper sneakers, scribbling conflict resolutions on a clipboard as they walked. One drizzly morning, Maria's stick snapped underfoot. She stared fractured wood, heart pounding, until hands reached out with duct tape, hair ties, a knitting needle. Fix it together, someone said. And just like that, stick became theirs as much as hers, wrapped in layers of shared history. By spring, City Council noticed. They repaved sidewalks, added benches where walkers could rest and reconcile. Maria's creaky knees still protested, but now they danced to a new rhythm, one that turned neighborly spats into something sturdier, step by step. Maria's bones creaked awake before dawn, craving mischief. 52 years of living had taught her two things: stubbornness worked better than patience, and most neighbor disputes boiled down to someone not getting enough fresh air. Vancouver's mist clung to her jacket as she gripped her walking stick, not for balance, though her knees liked to pretend otherwise, but as a reminder. That stick had prodded reluctant hydrangeas into blooming and once whacked a raccoon off her porch. Today, it would nudge something trickier: human nature. Community center bulletin boards overflowed with passive-aggressive notes about parking spots and unkempt hedges. Maria eyed them, snorted, then pinned up her own flyer, Neighborhood Walk Club. Complaints optional, solutions guaranteed. Skeptics muttered. A few showed up out of curiosity, others to air grievances. By third lap around block, gripes about trash bins morphed into shared nostalgia for old maple tree lost in last winter's storm. Progress wasn't linear. One Wednesday, two walkers nearly came to blows over a disputed fence line. Maria herded them forward, stick-tapping pavement like a metronome forcing rhythm into chaos. Keep moving. Feet in motion left less room for stubbornness to take root. By time they reached Rose Garden, tension had unspooled into half-hearted jokes about property surveys. Her own doubts nipped her heels. What if this was just a band-aid on deeper rifts? But then she'd spot Mrs. Leong and Mr. Patel, formerly war over late-night piano practice, comparing gardening tips mid-stride, or teenagers who'd once egged houses now volunteering to lead weekend routes. Small victories, stacked like stones marking a trail. Rain or shine, Club walked. Maria's stick became a beacon, its chipped handle proof of miles logged and fences mended. Not every conflict dissolved, but sidewalks widened with understanding. Even her creaky knees approved. Maria's walking stick tapped a rhythm only she understood, part stubborn heartbeat, part battle cry. Vancouver's mist clung to her windbreaker as she strode past hedges trimmed with passive aggression. For weeks, whispers about barking dogs and unkempt lawns had festered. But today, Mischief had a plan. She'd turned her grandmother's cherrywood cane into something fiercer, a peacemaker. Community center, she'd propped it beside a blown-up map of neighborhood, dotted with sticky notes, Mrs. Kowalski's roses versus Mr. Patel's sprinklers. Teen skateboarders versus Dawn yoga crew. Above it all, a sign in her loopy handwriting, walk it out, no lawyers, just sneakers. A few eyebrows shot up. Diane from book club, notorious for side-eyeing touchy-feely nonsense, snorted into her latte. Creator ignored her, adjusting display with a tiny goof, knocking over a cup of markers. Laughter rippled. Then magic, someone grabbed a sticky note. Then another. By noon, a line curled around bulletin board. Diane lingered, arms crossed, until woman thrust walking stick into her hands. Your turn to lead. A beat. 2. Diane's scoff melted into a stunned grin as she traced carvings, tiny olive branches creator had burned into wood last night. Phones flashed. A local reporter, there for zucchini bread recipes, caught Diane mid-laugh, cane aloft like a torch. By dusk, shot blazed across social media, 52-year-old grandma solves feuds with sticks and strides. Comments exploded. City Hall slid into Maria's DMs. As twilight painted streets gold, 20 neighbors laced up sneakers behind her. Maria's stick struck pavement, crisp as a judge's gavel. This wasn't just a walk, it was a parade of truces. Somewhere between pothole rants and shared sunscreen, grudges unraveled. Maria smirked, rolling tension from her shoulders. That creak in her knees? Just applause. This is my start. Behind her, Diane hip-checked a skateboarder, both howling. Crowd roared. Vancouver's chill couldn't touch this heat. Maria's walking stick, once just a splintered crutch for creaky knees, now tapped out rhythms of change. Each morning, she rallied her motley crew, retired teachers, young moms, even a skeptical barista, for neighborhood walks that dissolved petty spats mid-stride. Vancouver's drizzle couldn't dampen their vibes, sidewalks became mediation rooms without walls. By week 3, her stick doubled as a peacekeeping baton. She'd pause near tangled rose bushes, always roses, and guide warring neighbors into step. No lectures, just shared breath, syncopated footfalls, and occasional rogue squirrel breaking tension. Community center gossip shifted from "did you hear about their trash cans?" to "did you see Maria's new sunrise route?" One Tuesday, 52-year-old Maria caught her reflection in a puddle, silver hair wind-whipped, stick held like a conductor's wand. She grinned. This was mischief, all right, kind that knitted streets into sweaters of solidarity. Even barista brought croissants. Lace up, your sidewalk's waiting. Walk talk,